Okay, guys, so we're back with some more Chaos Zero Nightmare, and we're 72 hours plus into the release of this game, and I really just want to take the time to just rip this band-aid off and just state that this game is a marathon, not a race, okay? Now, again, I'm gonna repeat that one more time. This game is a marathon, not a race. Now, the reason why I'm stating this is because some of you guys may be stuck and you're like, all right, Zox, what should I be doing right now? And so I want to actually talk about some of those things, and of course talk about some other factors as well that, you know, obviously typically comes with brand new gacha games and the expectations, right? So here we go. We're going to go ahead and jump right into it. Obviously, you can see I'm account level 33. We're pushing and working our way to right now level 40. As far as the missions that we need to do, we still need to get a combatant up to affinity level 5. That's going to be my Ren on my account. I think right now she's almost done. I have her currently, if we go and take a look here at my combatants, I got her at level 4, so we have to give her a little bit more TLC and we'll be able to get that done. So maybe in like another day or so, we'll be able to have her completed. Some people may already have that done. I had used some of my friendship between her and my Hugo. I should have been paying more attention to that, but it is what it is. We'll get that done very, very shortly, and then we'll be able to actually progress some more. Now, the thing is that, as you can see here, I really honestly haven't leveled up too much else outside of these 6 units that I really want to play on my account, which is obviously the Ren, Hugo, Mika, Tressa, Maribel, and Ray. And I think one of the things is that there's going to be different stopping points at which you just need to kind of start to raise your account, and I would even say between the values of your 2 teams up in increments, right? Because the thing that you're going to constantly run into is the fact that, you know, again, these builds and getting these units invested is going to take time. So one of the biggest factors that I would highly advise is, of course, having your, what I would consider a hyper carry unit. For me, that ended up becoming my Ren. So what I mean by that is that, you know, the character that you're going to be trying to get as much potential, like, right, she's my first character. I got even one singular node completely maxed on, you know, getting nodes for the potential max, even down to like just trying to really making sure you're fine-tuning your cards or your deck. She definitely has one of the better builds right now, for what it's worth on my account. And I will say it's kind of like back and forth between her and Hugo, but yeah, she does kind of take the cake when it comes to that. And I really feel like this is just important because, like I said before, it's going to take quite a bit for you to be able to invest into your units. And one of the things that usually causes like people to quit these types of games is when they have spread investment and they spread themselves way too thin, right? I think that you want to have some spread investment, obviously, because we have things that requires like 2 teams, but you don't want it to be so spread that nothing's ever really being built. And I think that that's the thing that's really going to hurt your progression the most, is if you are really honestly taking your mats and you're just dumping them into everything. I really honestly feel like this is something that you just want to be aware of, so that you're really just making sure you're getting the most progression on your account. Now, the other thing is too, is obviously other things to do and some like little tidbits or tips that I could give you guys for that. And even things I have to do personally is like when you're going through things like, for example, say the Chaos, right? I think the Chaos is a predominant game mode, and this game mode is like, if you haven't really sat and done it, you really honestly are like missing out on so much of the game, because this is where I feel like I've had the most fun so far, at least for the current level cap that I'm at. But even now, being in the swamp, I have tried, and if you guys have not tried, you need to go and you need to try out the nightmare mode, right? Like, so when you go into this mode right here, yeah, it is absolutely insanity. But the thing about this is that it actually raises the value of your drops. So with that being the case, this is something that you are going to want to try to challenge yourself, and this is what's going to be the separator between your account and someone else's account. Because, for example, you can continue, you know, to just traverse throughout the game just doing the regular mode, right? But when you go into, and I actually will start one so you guys can see it, but if you go over into, like, let's say the City of Mist, let's go enter here, and you turn on that nightmare mode. Now, what it does, if you notice here, the save data value is really low here, but when you actually bring it to the nightmare mode, it gets higher. And you'll notice that as you go into each of the modes, it will, you know, either say normal, like for example here, in the regular mode, and then it'll be high if you're doing the nightmare mode. So that's ultimately the goal. Like, Like, you want to get good and really just understanding what your character's limitations are, what their strengths are. And this, of course, is another factor that will play a little bit into what I feel like is going to be the overall investment, because that's going to be more base stat and just raw damage and skill up investment, or skill damage or skill healing, whatever it may be that the character does that you're trying to invest in. Those are going to be things that really start to come to the forefront when you're trying to push the nightmare mode, right? Now, the other thing is too, is that in this mode, like for example, it's telling me I need to be like level 40. These guys are level 30. So my first team would probably be the thing that I want to actually take through this. But I just want to show you guys real quick that this is what you're going to have to deal with, right? So mental disorders. So the combatant's abnormal mental states manifest. Breakdowns deepen. So collapse and breakdown intensify, and the effects are enhanced. So there's actually like death animations in this, which is like really cool. But you get increased epiphany changes or chances. And then you also have the save data increase. So the value of your save data will increase. So this is something that you're going to want to make sure that you're doing in between, and really just making sure that you're trying to tackle as much content as you possibly can, so that you can really start to raise the value of your builds. And ultimately what this is going to do is going to make everything that you need to farm, especially as you're going into the higher stages, is going to make, if you're autoing, for example, it's going to make your autos more seamless, more concise, and just the synergies of your team that much better, right? So it's super important that you go and you do this stuff. I mean, the other thing is too, is first time achievements, guys. It's one of those things, again, that's going to start separating people's accounts. People that are going through and they're just doing everything, they're going to be getting some of this extra EXP, right? So that's really going to be a super huge thing for those that want to get into the next thing or really start to develop their account more. You gotta make sure that you're doing new stuff so that you're getting that EXP, because otherwise, if you're just stuck in one dungeon, you're not really gaining much. So always try that new thing, and then if you got to go back later, then go back, right? So very simple stuff. Now, of course, one of the very last things I wanted to talk about, and this is just something I just feel like is staple in gacha, is saving your currency. Now, obviously, I think a lot of people are hyped. They're going for whatever it is that's currently on banner, which I think is Haru. And I'm not even gonna lie to you guys, I paid this unit absolutely no mind. I obviously don't think she's bad. I mean, I tried her out in the event, but she really didn't seem like a unit I personally really wanted. I will say though that the units that they have paired up for her 4-star combatant rate up is actually really good. So I mean, again, if you do pull on this banner, I think it is valuable. But the other thing that I was looking at with this game is that these units are, from at least what we're seeing so far, play into certain gimmicks or play styles. So I think that one of the things that I'm personally going to be waiting for is a unit that is going to fit into a playstyle that I prefer, maybe even more so just a unit that I really like to look at. So I mean, that also, I mean, hey, waifu of a meta, right? That's always a thing. And the other thing I'm also paying attention to, because I've also mentioned that in the last video, that one thing I really feel like is going to be really important is paying attention to the partner rescue. And whenever they have a rate up, that's going to be really nice, because one of the things that does suck currently about pulling on and like trying to stack up mats, or at least the free currency to pull on the partner rescue for the regular, is that it's random, right? So I have gotten some pretty good ones, don't get me wrong. I've gotten Noelle, and also got another one, I forgot what her name is, but again, needless to say, you will have a little bit more of a opportunity of really honestly tackling or getting a character that you really want to have that full entire build for. So that's something that I'm working towards and why I'm trying to stack up all my currency. And I think that the other thing that, again, is just going to be a thing that we'll have to kind of wait and see how it develops, because it is going to happen, is obviously power creep, right? So while you're waiting, while you're stuck, I think the best thing that you can do is really just trying to find your play style and what you want to do, and then kind of going from there. Now, the last thing too, I know somebody's going to ask about it, is refills. I mean, personally, I will say that because I'm not summoning with any of my premium currency or like the premium summons, I have obviously done some refills. This doesn't really hurt if you want to expedite or speed up your progression, but it is a PvE game. So, I mean, that's entirely on you, dude. Like, you don't have to use your currency to do this. And this is one of the things that I would say is the beauty of a PvE game, is that you're going to get there. It may be a separation of a few days, but you will get there. And of course, they've been giving us a ton of extra crystals for all of the issues the game's been having. So yeah, make sure you take full advantage of that. But I hope that this video was able to give you some more insight. It helps you, you know, in the midst of your grind in Chaos Zero Nightmare. I'm going to have a few more videos where we get a little bit more in depth. And if there's anything you guys want me to talk about specifically, let me know in the comment section down below. But that's going to be that with this one, guys. Everyone, take it easy, and I'll see you guys in the next Chaos Zero Nightmare video.